All hail Biafra. This is Biafra Liberation Army Network coming to you again. Please do subscribe, like, share, and comment. Where we are going and some of the things that we do both openly and privately. If you have any question, any worries, things you're not clear about, this is the time to ask those questions. The ones I can take, I'll take them. The ones I cannot take, I'll let you know that I'm going to come back with the answer. That is what this session is for. First, let me let you know, we declared the United States of Biafra in Finland, November the 29th, 2024. And it was an event that was the climax of the several things that Biafrans have done over the years to redeclare Biafra. As some of you are aware, Biafra was a nation between 1967 and 1970, during the period when we fought a brutal war with Nigeria. During that war, many Biafrans, innocent children, were killed, mostly by starvation by the Nigerian state. And the way they did that is to block the food entrance of foods and other things into the Biafran territory. A couple of countries at that time played a role to help Biafrans, and those countries at this point are still supporting the independence and the sovereignty of the United States of Biafra. Biafra conducted a self-referendum, both online and at home physically, to ensure that we go through the peaceful process to remove ourselves from Nigeria. During this period, over 50 million Biafrans voted at home and abroad using different formats. That was presented when we were in Finland. Biafra has met all the criteria to be a full-fledged independent nation. We have our sovereignty cut out. We have our people that have participated in the self-referendum to exit Nigeria. Over 98% of Biafrans that participated in this voting process, they all voted for Biafra to exit Nigeria. Biafra has explored different sources of peace negotiation with Nigeria over the years, and some of that included when our leader Nnamdi Kanu called for the regional distribution of Nigeria, trying to let Biafrans to be independent and rule themselves. Nigeria rejected that. We have reached out to Nigeria to be able to let them know we want to conduct self-referendum. For over the past 10 years, Nigeria refused to do that. We also have reached out to different offices to the Nigerian state of the need for Biafra to be free. Nigeria has rejected that. Nigeria maintains that Biafra and Nigeria must be in the same place, must be one Nigeria, must be one nation, because of mostly the rich mineral resources that come from the Biafra region, which Nigeria is using to service themselves and give it to European countries that support their globalist agenda. And while our people lavish, lavish in squalor and in poverty, and not getting the basic education, the basic healthcare, just some of the basic things that people that produce minerals, such heavy amount of mineral resources that they're supposed to be enjoying. None of that is in Biafra land. We have no international airport in Biafra land, no seaport, no airport, no major railway line that has cut across to our region. Everything is being denied to Biafrans by the Nigeria state. Meanwhile, it is from this Biafra region that Nigeria gets most of the mineral reserves and resources they use to service European countries and some Western world. And Biafrans have come to say no more. We are not going to be the region that produces the rich oil reserves, while Nigeria state milk that and use that to siphon it to countries outside Biafra land and collect the money to continue to enhance terrorism in Nigeria. We all know the Nigerian state is one of the countries that rehabilitates and reintegrates non-terrorists into the military, police,
and all their security services. Because most indigenous Nigerians have refused to join the Nigerian military and police because of the reintegration of known terrorists into the Nigerian military. So what Nigerian state does is to reintegrate these terrorists, give them guns and ammunition, and ship them over to Biafra land to continue to kill innocent Biafrans who does not believe in one Nigeria. This killing has been going on for years. And now Biafrans have said no more of those killings. We cannot continue to stay in a country that reintegrates known terrorists into its system, and you force us to live with terrorists. That is why Biafra declared their independence in Latin Finland on November the 29th, 2024. Nigeria state has also committed several atrocities, several criminal things against Biafra people. We have a lot of Biafran people in jail in different parts of Nigeria without no recourse to legal services, without no recourse to legal help. This is a country that arrests people, dump them in prisons without any remorse, without any opportunity for those individuals to bail themselves or even have their cases heard in court. So it's like we are still living in stone age in Nigeria. Nigeria is a failed state, and that has been documented in several areas. The worst part of this is the collusion of the Nigerian government with some European countries like Finland, like Britain, like the United Kingdom to suppress and destroy psychologically, emotionally, Biafrans all over the world, tagging us terrorists just for fighting for our freedom, just for our self-determination, just for trying to express ourselves. This is what Nigerian state has continued to do, colluding with European countries to continue to destroy our people. And we said no more of that. There are several instances. Our leader Nnamdi Kanu is still held today by the Nigeria state, going to almost 5 years for nothing, except the independence of Biafra. The United Nations Committee on Extraordinary Rendition has told Nigeria to leave Nnamdi Kanu and compensate him. Nigeria has refused to do that till date. About 2-3 competent courts inside Nigeria has gone through the case of our leader Nnamdi Kanu and acquitted and discharged him. Nigeria state continue to hold him till today as we speak. Why? Because they are more interested in milking our natural resources, milking the oil and giving it to their courts and the people they connive with abroad. France, Finland, England, Europe, all of that, Britain. Now, our leader, our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, just for the same reason, nothing more. Finland invited him 2 weeks before our redeclaration in Latin Finland. And since then, Finland is holding our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. For the same reason, Nigeria is holding Nnamdi Kanu. So this is a calculated systemic plan by European countries to continue to subjugate Biafrans, to kill Biafrans, and continue at the same time to milk our natural resources to develop their countries. That cannot continue anymore. You cannot continue to kill and destroy countries, destroy Biafra by holding their leaders and instigating the reintegrated terrorists to come to our land to kill our people. There are several reports of human rights abuses by Nigeria state. That has been documented both by the United Nations, by African nations, the Organization of Emerging States in Africa. All these are well documented. Nigeria is forcefully removing all our male youths in Biafra land by killing them, taking them away, locking them up. Currently, as we speak, President Tinubu has his armored tanks inside the peaceful communities of Biafra land, attacking our people, hunting down our people for nothing. The same reason Finland is holding our prime minister. It is so easy for these European countries and the zoo country of Nigeria to label us terrorists. Why do they label us terrorists? They label us terrorists just because we want our freedom, nothing more. We want to make Biafra the nation, just like every other developing nation. We have better options. We have better services for our people, unlike what Nigerian offers. That is the crime of Biafrans, nothing more, nothing less. So anywhere Nigeria and Europeans, they see Biafrans, they try to tag them or label them terrorists. Recently, we have 4 innocent Biafrans that were arrested by our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa in Finland for nothing except just helping for the restoration of the independent state of Biafra. Finland, through their president and staff, arrested these innocent Biafrans, locked them up for days, for months. And our Prime Minister today is still locked up in Finland for nothing. Even when those innocent Biafrans, 4 of them were left out, Finland still is suffering those Biafrans till today. Most of them cannot access their bank account. Most of them, their businesses have been destroyed by Finland. Most of them, they cannot even get any basic services they need to sustain their families. And Finland has continued to suffer these innocent Biafrans, including our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. Just the same way Britain, using Nigeria, have continued to suffer our leader Nnamdi Kanu. This is what we as a people are going through, and we say no more of that. We are going to use everything within our means, legally possible, to protect ourselves. Self-defense is not a crime. Between December and now, when Finland took away our Prime Minister, Nigerian state has murdered over 500 innocent Biafrans for nothing. These are people sleeping in their homes. These are people just walking around in front of their homes. Nigerian state, using the Southeast and South-South delegitimized governors, Hope Uzodinma, Peter Obi, and Soludo, they set up these criminal gangs. They call their agents, security agents, mostly reintegrated terrorists, and they use that to suppress and kill innocent Biafrans that are fighting for their freedom. This is what we are going through. You have a country in Nigeria where you have 2 laws. They use Sharia in the north, and they use the secular law in the south. One country. Innocent Christians that are born to Christian families in the north are made to use and go through and obey the Sharia law. Christians are murdered in Nigeria, buried, mass graves. Nobody is doing anything about that. All of you remember the story of Deborah, the innocent Christian that was murdered in the north. Nothing has been brought against those people that killed this individual. And so many other thousands of Christians have been murdered in Nigeria. And nobody is saying anything about it. That when we rise up, when we say we want our nation, we do not want to continue to live in a country where non-terrorists are reintegrated and rehabilitated. Nigerian state connive with their British counterparts, the globalist counterparts, to arrest innocent Biafrans and put them away, thinking that is going to stop our quest for our freedom. Some of the examples, we have the Finnish president talking about book promotion utterances. We hear Alex Stubb, you're talking about promotion of your book that you wrote going around. That is a big joke. Alex Stubb, how can you be talking about promoting a book about freedom? Meanwhile, you lock up our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, who is the head of a state. You lock him up in Finland. And you're going around making a jest of yourself, promoting a book you wrote. You should be ashamed of yourself to be promoting a book about freedom. And you lock up our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa in Finnish jail. Or you just put him away. Let me use that word. And you're doing an investigation since November till now. You've not indicted this individual of any crime, and you're still investigating. And you're going about promoting your nonsense book you wrote. And you think we don't know what you're doing. We know the European Empire, led by the Britain, crumbled years back. But all they are doing is to hang on to the Nigerian state that supplies them crude oil, which they use to survive. And they can kill anyone. They can go to any length to destroy Biafrans, to continue to milk their natural resources. Not anymore. France is now part of that circle, the globalists. We know the globalist agenda. France is now heading Nigeria. That is why Nigeria was so scared of the coming of Donald Trump. Nigeria did everything possible to ensure that the president of America, Donald Trump, never came to power. They used people like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala to write all the nonsense about world trade and all that. That is the plan. Nigeria worked against the coming of President Trump. It's a public domain. Because they know America promotes and supports the independence of people. America protects Christians. America protects the freedom of speech, unlike what Finland is doing and what Europe is doing and what the Nigerian state is doing. Currently, Finland is holding the head of a state, the head of the United States of Biafra. Finland knows very well that when they remove Simon Ekpa, Nigeria terrorist state will increase their activities of killing of innocent Biafrans. That is exactly what is going on. Finland planned with Nigeria and removed Simon Ekpa. And Nigeria increased their killing of innocent Biafrans. So what is the plan there, Finland? What is your plan with Nigeria? So you remove Simon Ekpa, one, to stop the restoration of the independence of Biafra. Secondly, to aid Nigerian state. The states that rehabilitate and reintegrate non-terrorists, you aided them in the killing of innocent Biafrans. As we speak right now, that is what you are doing. That is also what Britain is doing. So the time for crying is over. We are not going to beg anybody anymore. Our leader Nnamdi Kanu has talked enough. Our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa has talked enough. I believe Finland, there is no document about the restoration of Biafra that you do not have on your table. That Prime Minister Simon Ekpa submitted both to the government of Finland and to all the necessary authorities. You have that information. But you wanted more of the bilateral relation between Nigeria and Finland. You prefer that to the human rights of Biafrans. You prefer that to the survival and to innocent lives that are killed by a Nigerian terrorist state. You take preference to the oil that Tinubu is going to give you, Finland and France. We are fully aware of that. I'm using this opportunity to tell any country in the world that is planning or negotiating any business with Nigeria in the form of oil or mineral resources, we are calling on you to cancel that contract right now because it's never ever going to flourish. Biafra is now a sovereign nation. We've declared our independence and we are going to protect our territorial integrity. I also want to use this opportunity to tell Biafrans, especially those of you that are opportune to have the liberty to serve as press people, or you have people that listen to you. You work in the media. I want to use this opportunity to tell you to stop the misinformation that you are spreading to Biafrans. There's so much misinformation that are being spread by these individuals who have the opportunity to create Biafrans that listen to them, but in local language and English language. You need to stop. You cannot continue to misinform Biafrans, misinform the world when you don't have the facts. You are doing more damage to the government. And some of the information we are going to relate to the world today to know some of these individuals that go about lying to Biafrans, trying to throw some Biafrans into depression for nothing, just coming on air to just call innocent Biafrans names just to gain cheap popularity. We are going to play some of that today. I also want to use this opportunity to let everyone listening to me to know there is only one country, the United States of Biafra, with one leadership. That leadership is our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, and my humble self, Dr. Robinson. Only one line of leadership. Anyone, anybody out there pretending to be anything else, please ignore them. They do not exist. These are criminals planted by the Nigerian state to continue to destabilize what we do. In every stage of the restoration of the independent state of Biafra, there are criminals planted by the Nigerian state to disrupt what we do. And I want the world to know there is nothing. This is a pattern. This is a systemic pattern of what they do. They know the right leadership. They know the right order. They know the right command. But the Nigerian government pays them to disrupt what we do. And what they do is to continue to create the chaos, the little chaos and confusion that they create out there to confuse the gullible, not the ones that are truly following, but they confuse the gullible ones because they are paid to do what they are doing. So I implore all Biafrans, I implore everyone listening to me to stay focused. Our focus is to peacefully or forcefully let Nigerian government move away from our territory. Nothing more, nothing less. We are going to use everything within our reach to defend ourselves, to defend our lands from all this killing of innocent Biafrans being perpetrated by the Nigerian state. That is what we are going to continue to do. I thank all the state governors. Biafra has 40 states. Each of those 40 states in Biafra land have 15 counties. And those counties are districts and wards. We already gave a notice to the Nigerian state to vacate anywhere they are in Biafra land. Any Nigerian military or police inside Biafra land, at this point, you are occupying a foreign state. We implore you to leave. We have all the evidences that we are peacefully imploring you to leave Biafra territory. Stop killing our people because we are going to react. You cannot continue to kill our people. You cannot continue to invade and occupy our nation. We've declared our nation. We've written to the Nigerian state. We've notified them of the independence of Biafra. We are exploring all the peaceful avenues at this time. But we cannot continue to allow them to kill our people and we just watch them do that. We are going to self-defend our land. Self-determination is our right. All the 40 state governors, I thank you so much for what you are doing. We have a decentralized military in our homeland, and we will continue to build and work on that. On this note, we are going to take questions from the people that are watching. As you all know, today we call it a question and answer session. If you have any question, please, you can raise up your hand and make your question as brief as possible. And I am going to try as much as possible to answer your questions. The Honorable Information, the Secretary, if you can take the hands. And please, if you cannot raise your hand using the tools that we have, let us know. You can just talk. Because we don't want people to say at the end of the day that they could not take their hands or we could not answer their questions. Meanwhile, they didn't raise their hand and they didn't let us know that they want to ask a question. All right, let's go ahead. Thank you so much, everyone. I wanted to, before you go, I wanted to let the world know and use this opportunity to also thank our Biafra Liberation Army, the Biafra Defense Forces, Navy, and Air Force for what they're doing on ground to ensure that we protect our state, to ensure we protect our nation. Please do not listen to all the rumors and gossips and all the online online misinformation going on with some individuals. All they are planning is to destabilize what we are doing. Because you cannot claim that you want Biafra to come, and at the same time, you are out there in the public domain misinforming people, calling people's names. You don't know anyone. We are building a nation. We are building 40 states. Everyone has a role to play. It's not your duty. You don't have the right to come out on social media and be mentioning people's names. People you don't even know what they do. Because some people are calling you, gossiping to you, then you think you have the right to go on air and be just spilling out misinformation to the public. No one has a right to do that. It is not acceptable. We are building a nation. We have over 1 million jobs that Biafrans are lining up to take. In the ministries, in the House of Representatives, in the legislatives, in the local government. Who are those that are going to do this job? There are millions of jobs in the defense, in the police, in security apparatus. Who are those that are going to take up these jobs? What are you fighting for? What do you need? Our greatest enemy is the Nigerian state that comes to kill us, using the Southeast and South legitimized government and their agents, their security agents, and the reintegrated terrorists in Biafra land, wearing the Nigerian military and police uniform. Those are our greatest enemies, and the politicians that support them. Those are the individuals you should be fighting. Not fellow Biafrans because you have a personal beef with the individual. You come out to spill the nonsense, calling people's names that you don't even know who they are. Even if you know them, you have no right. You have no right to be misinforming Biafrans. I've seen a lot of misinformation. Like when somebody was saying that somebody was giving $50 million to an individual. That is a pure lie. And then you come out publicly to spill this nonsense to Biafrans because people just listen to you on the social media. Let us go ahead. And for those Biafrans, again, one more thing I want to say. I don't have any problem with anybody trying to do whatever or say there's freedom of information. But when that freedom of information amounts to spreading falsehood to the public, that's not acceptable. And for those of you that are being used by the Nigerian government, and when you go online or Twitter space, all you talk is about Dr. Ngozi Orebeze, Dr. Ngozi Orebeze. I ask you a question. Is Dr. Ngozi Orebeze the freedom that you're fighting for? Is Dr. Ngozi Orebeze the independence of the United States of Biafra that you are asked to do by our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa and by our Onyendu Nnamdi Kanu? Is Dr. Ngozi Orebeze your problem? Is that the freedom you're supposed to fight? Is that the terrorists you're supposed to fight? Is that the Nigerian state that are bringing people, the integrated terrorists to kill our people? Is that the independence you're supposed to be fighting for? When you spend 8 hours on Twitter space and talking about Dr. Roberts, you think that will change anything? That will not change a thing. The roadmap, the plan for the restoration of the independent state of Biafra is already mapped out by our Prime Minister. That template must be followed from beginning to end. If you like, you go on social media, stay there, cry from now to the next 100 years. It's not going to move anything. It's not going to stop Biafrans. So I implore all Biafrans to come together. This is not the time to start backbiting. This is not the time to start going on air to just waste your precious time. The time you will use to be talking about Dr. Roboese or Defense Minister or Information Minister or somebody else, you can use that time to map out something strategic for Biafra. You can use that time to meet the county or the congressman in your region and tell them about Biafra. You can use that time to go to the offices of individuals that are going to financially help us to restore, establish our military, establish our police, because we need the funding. That is what you're supposed to be doing. But if you continue to come online and disrupt what we do, that means we believe the Nigerian state is using you to disrupt what we are doing. And we are going to give you the treatment that you need. I promise you that.
Go to Igwe, even if you go to Igwe, this guy is protecting our land. He sacrificed everything. He's like God. I'm going to be a land. God is God because I don't put any I can do yesterday because I discussed with them. I'm a millionaire open. And I have a millionaire open. And that's not how to for this moment. I know that. If we wanted to be in our side, all those okay, all because of that, okay, I call it expect. And that's what they're going to know forward, the way that. So when they're going to know forward, the way that, but you look at by that time, I know that dangerous critical time now. They are cleaning our voice secretly. They're supposed to have one after the other.
Oh, wow.
Vico can not yogi. Vico. Every time I can miss a bank at there. When I people, anywhere I which this time on now. When it's in a need and I didn't put that child, we yogi. But we think when they will give you the ghost of that. Because here they will give you the people to do that. When he only would not know which people only would not die is people is ready. But they are possible. You want the idea to go there with the idea. I told them I need it. Or even though you had a family, so I was so you put it. Only they will now, no problem. Or who know that so with us. I don't care. What I care, we want to our people are dying. They are killing them secretly. Hey, we're going to do this power. One side. First, go to safeguard our land. I can't say I'm working. Because. And the other natural. In my camera, on gives me a very good fundraising, a general space. Can carry fundraising general space and go my problem. But now we are just in moment in them. So I can use to play on who be other. Only I do use our friend. If only I do use our friend. And they use our friend and after Ali. No possible. Oh, I could ever be kissed on that party. And I'm already that now. Every end of the day. We need that in thought. We fought. We give everything for you to be balanced, And they need to know we need an make cases on certain decisions. Make cases on media thing. Because some of people yesterday, I don't like it. It's that new with the media. In bit of better. Even the many media, they are all but those media are more than heat. If you better call those media. Kita, imbalance here. I am with the idiot. That is statement for a movie. And you have many media saving of the all. Hold them now. Have you know all? Hold them those media now. Have you know all? Oh, right, that is allowed in the article. Or don't call it possible. Or don't call it possible. I didn't show you the possible. We thought. Maybe not today. We need that thing. We just win. We need that thing. You're not having possible. Not is possible. We need that thing. We do very other easy. We do very it's so bad. That thing will be that thing clear. But I wouldn't neglect it. This immediate thing. Fighting everything. I never saw lawyer this you. It can never be easy. Because as we fight it, we're going to fight it back. I promise. Because you'll be at the moment. This insult is enough. How about some they use what to do? If I hear Brucey, fundraising, this is space. You can go space with fundraising. I can't go that space with fundraising. No matter what I had a fundraising that space. So who knows what? Yes, it's so they bring guys down. People should die. It can never happen. I swear with my life, it can never happen. I suffered a lot. I do everything for me to help you to be where you are today without who without food. But to never go and up an hour and a great any media fight with this fight. When I actually rule. That is why I was media and shake up. It didn't happen. It was because it didn't want to be there elsewhere. Why could yesterday to way? Why yesterday night was very bad. And then just spent me when he came upon Mamu to work, more than never than decade. Let everything for you to be okay today, for you to be win. It can never happen. The little body can stand with this agony. And you wait. Now, you were swallowing him to yesterday, even oh, because the family that just made for the game. In our one out for the game. Who are the one I use for them? If also one who did it, and nature that I did for the day. I suffered a lot. Then declare that Biafra, oh, if I'm not around you, these people they have subdued you. Other than that, here, but this if you don't remember it now. If not, then you get everything. And let me tell you something. Because calm down. My sister, calm down. Don't you say that wrong man? Who's in the chat wrong man? Don't you say they are wrong man? I tell you now to become back and to bring yourself and this your muscle and this your power down. I just want to tell you by Monagana. I told me with the outside. But all will not continue. They're going to settle ourselves there. Thank you. This message in the same man of my because all the good to do so. I didn't go. So you do that. Then we go to Zeko. All the good to do so. I didn't go. See you do that. Then we go to Zeko. If we put two so, during their way to I can do so every moment in this world because of their one. All my top here single-handed. Take care of people to like group here. Open Onya, they're way back on. All that's now our COS, Alanka, because I'm able to do Alanka. I know, I'm going to work for this. I'm going to take care of that place. But then people to do something for the account, yeah, it's centralized. In that day, I can walk into a city. Oh, no, what I say, okay, that's what I know. But this guy, God, I don't know who from design today with the force of this evil potential matter, which you will design. And the moment we identify from that, they can never be a fight. As young, it will be good to of park on one side upon all his sacrifice. The Papa can able to choose outside by his side. by more that you go by the side. Even the people to the everybody. It is young people to the days of everybody. This week we're all like people. Oh, you put our chief of staff yesterday. Also, that they were a media. Then they were other than that, and they were too much able to go on buy it down. Why can those people do don't know where they need their most? Yeah, you know, monkey the walk by good eat. Oh, the why would the media team and look at sacrifice, yeah. Sacrifice that everything I win. Who train die when they baby every day protect his US. Obviously now. There's a kita. There's a good as now or the way like decide. Yeah, fight there. When they I told me, I didn't need to go Monte Carlo say, I will respect you. But not be another key to my life will or issue my effort will I will say no for that. So when they go away, you go to go protect our land. Because for now, I don't get that. Guys, I do work. Guys is not doing nothing. I'm even needed like I'm our chief of staff. One cheek. One man and a cheek. This man was into security before all refused to come down, man. She refused to work with the chica. She refused to go even work with the chica. What does it that what they want? I'm going to this defense minister woman will sabot for all. So the one who go into this man is a saboteur, sabotage this attitude. But nobody came. The one you're telling me here. So if I was seeing this like all day, he was saying, no, they took them on a car, them out of the who got that also. Back I this by the side. Yeah, we don't this more power on one side. We don't need it now. What we need is Biafra. Now the woman by secretary. They put a new operation in the guy, right behind the village. They teach our boys, neighbor. That we okay, so I want to go to inside. This operation, you guys can never get hit. How many bad? How many AVG? Why was you as you have people to that? I will go to this man. You have to watch this man. Because he ain't you go more outside. And you don't know that man is from cabinet. Because I want you to know that place in it. I have to see home. They don't have to zone and don't say them over. Because I can never be alive. Because if it wasn't for yesterday night, if you could actually be everything the body post, they will like that, they will like that, they will like that, they will like that. I just keep quiet and listen. Moving out, one getting. Was who around there, my dear Mary. I know I'm no good way in your some kind of cause. If it was not today, we fight it. Which is the more that the Panamanian son of one. The way you're born today. I do everything in my power to protect his honor. But I will do it this woman. On the neck, I did that by Sako, we don't have media team. Where I am, because of that garbage. Also, who is for all the pen, only people cannot. It didn't know them will get more to see again. I will go on after Madame Edouard. Enough is enough. Here is not going to make you today. What is on anywhere. If not immediate, all I know is the only thing look at it. If you that was on a day born today, she can be where she is today. All up for an also. All up for also. Madam, when done my jewel or I go, simply go. Where you get the motto, she can do whatever she wants to do. She can do whatever she don't want to do. But I'll be able to do that. Eba is open. You go to that. Eba is open. Let her go for people to do so. Who we go to the chair? Then we are cheap and people to do so. You go to this man sacrifice everything for his life. For him to abandon this guy with his group, meaning normal preference need to attack down. Oh no, what I am now. That's the way we do. Who will exchange so clear? I will put the grand that. Oh, one damn your chief of staff. Now he's a distant first minister dude. Won't do the oh, I did I know from the and that the defense minister then get out of the one and that one goes on the way and that did Uno no kwa kwa mo. And now, who can do one market? I don't care. Uno ni mu ni de no na pie. E ko na ma to today, no na mo lo kwa today, no kwa to happy no kono. Why you to be that? We need that we are not happy, especially me and that doctor there. And I'm happy. I am happy at all. I want to go to another capable to carry Biafrans alone. I carry Biafra. I know not propaganda because there is too much propaganda and lie. That is nonsense. I see all of them, I just keep quiet. Saddam said is enough. Let us sit up and get to it for. You want to go to choose. You empower you go to choose. I want to make you go to choose empower. Now God will know something. Without telling nature, I'm not saying nature. Then let us go there. And never be alive. What they will all over to them. So you can. I'm watching everything and I see everything and I take a credit. I can say come back. It's in Chile only when I run as super. Way on. And another time to the camera. This one brings on a plan. Who goes on a base on a plan? It's with X. Ya try yana. Ya try yana. This fundraising since one in that television was on the base on our day. Happy joy and Biafra in the way in our flying air. Especially in our flying air. Or to deny Biafra this joy, Jenna, like Twitter. It's only being my opinion, my thought, because of anyone born in the charge, they can't do anything. And you can't do everything. You can't do everything. Before goes on a basic, EJ, even this fundraising Jenna Twitter, and I will fight against it. This fundraising on Twitter, I will fight against it. I'm not happy as a fraud. I'm not going to say, okay. So many and before I take some decisions. I'm still in the cabinet. I'm doing the cabinet. But open a cabinet who cabinet to the truth. Because open a cabinet who cabinet. Before I take some stupid decisions. Who question the cabinet. Who they have to take upon like this. When I take decisions, I can never allow that one to happen. Because I'm maybe look at that. I'm going to go back here for so maybe don't make I want my stand. Because I will never be alive. Now, but it is on a to okay. I want to walk okay. I want to move you. I want to sabotage. I want to but even in the guitar, when I'm not calculate, I don't trust to anybody. I trust to nobody. I can say I'm working. Also, Bruno, and although I'm from the support on Tango, they support here. But I'm here, young Panama, they will fundraising AJ Natulika because I will single-handed bring it down. I promise. Thank you.
That's all for the voicemails.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. And again, a lot of lies, a lot of threats, which I think this individual is going around right now, promoting those lies to Biafrans. And those people that are following Adadi Orama, I want to tell you that half of what you hear from Adadi Orama, they are all lies. She's not saying the fact. It's a lie. If you can hear her when she said that she will single-handedly bring down, if we do Twitter fundraising, just as a new way to raise more money for what we're doing, she said she will declare it as a fraud. Then you begin to ask your question, where is she from? I don't understand. But the reason why, not just these voices, that she's out there, this thing she said, again, I just want to let the reference know where she's coming from. She has a calculated motive to do what she has threatened to do. And that is what she's doing right now, where some Biafrans have been so depressed, some even crying, thinking that what she's saying is the truth, not knowing that most of the things she's saying are lies. And it is my duty to let Biafrans know the truth of the matter, so that those that are crying when she talks, those that are following her sheepishly, those that are thinking that information she's dishing out there, that they are truth, you will be able to call the government, hear the side of the government, and then believe and know what you are saying and what you are believing.
Ekene m unu niile. Ekene m ụmụ nze mụrụ nze m ọzọ. ekene m ụmụaja ekene m ụmụ ndị gbuo agwakwara m ọnụ isi mgbasa ụtụtụ ka m na-agwa ụlọ nwekwa ihe emejekwana onwe ka emejekwa nwanyị agwakwara n'ebe si wee mejọ odo n'ụlọanya n'okwetene echi niile akpọrọ unu lekọd the conversation ọma na lekọd ya ihe miele ji wee leave message a our chief of staff Dr. Ngozi Alabeze ama na lekọd ya conversation maka abụna m ka ime si mata ha si wee kpọ na phone joint call with pharmacy Diana ofu obi si mbụ lekọd ya ọma na lekọd ya because na ebe nkwulu okwu sendiri meseji ọ gwara ibe kpata ji wee gwa ya okwu ọma na lekọd ya echi niile ọ ma ibe akpọrọ ụnụ ebe a ibe akpọrọ ụnụ lekọd ọkpọrọ ụnụ ka ọ kpọrọ wee nye suspension mgbe ọzọ anyị nyere suspension ibe akpọrọ ebe a ka ọ kpọrọ ụmụnne m onwere ebe si kwujọ onwere ebe si mejọ ndị mmiri ya time a na-agba m ụwọ afọ atere ebe na nzuzo mana ba ma ụmụnne m ụlọ ọbụla asị nka nsị ụnụ ka chifo Chineke ya na-anụrụ m ọgụ zoro ezo ihe nchọpụta o nwere ihe nchọpụtara kịta n'ihe mere today yes ana m egbe a na-agwa ụnụ ụmụ ndị gboo oh my god ka nke a modern achọrọ m iji iwe were kwuo okwu ka mụọ m nọtụ ụmụnne m ka ọ dị n'ụtụtụ echi mma abịa live ụtụtụ echi Obinigwe gọziele m ụnụ ya chekwala m ụnụ agwara m ụnụ na m aya disappoint ụnụ and ruo today ruo nke a standịla ebe a disappoint him and I will never disappoint. So ọkụ kwesịrị ịdị ọnụ nwa ụmụ ndị gboo unu ya jọji unu nwa ụmụ ndị gboo zọsọ unu ndị ya jọji nụ egosi na unu alụ mmele gosi unu mpụ mmele gosi unu everything unu ndị Louisiana unu enenezi ebe si ibe a kpọrọ ebe a onwere ebe si wee megide onwe ebe si megide amaka ndị na-apụtakwa ya apụta echi asụmụmụ gọọmenti protect the gọọmenti ehewa with gọọmenti odogo na anya na before m nwatiri pụta outside na mụ na ndị a akpa na nkata n'ime na ote nnụnụ nwere ọgụ a n'ime okwezi m wee pụtara na anọkịta m pụta na-ekwu họ mana Ngozi Alabeze ama na ọnwụ na ebe o wepụtara go something anyị ewepụtazi conversation now anyị akpọzi now ọkwa chọrọ ka anyị mebezie ya ọwọkwa m onye bụrụ ụzọ bido o dokwara ụlọ anya ihe ọ na mana na-emezi now because afụgo na this gọọmenti a ụlọ gọọmenti ọbata obie ihe ahụ gọọmenti Ngozi Alabeze ọbata obie onweghị ibe gbasara ọbata obie n'ibe Ngozi Alabeze na-eme Ngozi Alabeze have formed his own government adịghị ka o ji wee kick him out ka ha fe mma ihe na-emenụ mana ofuzenu ka ihe si eme everything na-emenụ anyday mmadụ ya apụtasị ma ada gọọmenti odogo na anya na the gọọmenti ejigo akafa na afụgo everything merenụ na the gọọmenti a ga-nsikwa ka m gwakwa m ụmụ ndị gboo mana the only thing na Chimeke unu mara ka unu esi protectie anụ unu mara ka unu esi protectie anụ Igbo unu mara ibe unu ya eme wekwa chekwa anụ Igbo unu jekweni chekwa anụ Igbo now onwezi any secret na-ezozi now mme open up now mma agwa Biafra okwu unu chọọ ka anụ Igbo dị mma unu chọọ ka anụ Igbo pụọ n'aka ndị Fulani unu chọọ ka anụ Igbo pụọ jikwanụ kịta mara ka unu ya esi were mee kpọkụnata agwa galanti man ka ha jikwa anụ Igbo anyị onwe ibe Ngozi Alabeze na-eme onwekwa otu mkpụrụ anyị o nwere onwekwa o etikpene nya ọwụrụ mkpu ka ọ dị na-echi ụmụnne m kachiwonu ụmụ ndị gboo mgbe o ruziela echi ga ikpe anụ onye mara iwe ya ekwu ọkpọ na fonu mgbe m abịa echi mme biko ọsọ